Hello, Summer Camp Art students. I'm Miss Morris, and today we will paint a city skyline at night with fireworks. Um, Materials needed for this project will be an 11 by 14 inch canvas board. Now you can find this at Michael's, Amazon, or any arts and crafts store because it's not wrapped canvas with wood. It's just wrapped, it's just canvas wrapped around cardboard. It's fairly inexpensive, and you can buy it very cheap. So this will be the size that we will be using. Again, it is 11 by 14 canvas panel, or it's called canvas board, either way. And that's what we will need for this project. Also, we will need acrylic paint. So I have here blue, or you can use cobalt blue or just primary blue, red, cadmium red, magenta, and this is a really dark violet, but if you have purple, works just as well, black, yellow, and white. So we have 7 colors all together, okay? You also will need a pencil, and you will also need a cup of water, and you will also need a flat brush and a small round brush. It looks like this. It comes with a little point, just like that, a small round brush. If you have something smaller, that's great, but this size works just as well if you're using the tip. Also, if you have multiple brushes, a wider flat brush also works just as well, okay? So this is what it would look like. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I got a little paint on this, but that's okay. I'm going to paint over it, is we're going to create a line at around, not the middle of the canvas, if you can see, but right here towards the base. And it doesn't have to be a perfect line. So let's get started with that. I'm going to use a ruler. So if you have a ruler at home, that works just as fine, just as well. I'm just going to measure the bottom half of my canvas, and I'm going to draw a line here. That's it. This is the only time we will actually use our pencil. So I'm going to darken that line for you guys to see at home. Hopefully you can see it. There you go. So we have our guideline. We're going to jump right into painting. Everything is going to be painting freehand, so we're ready to go. So we're going to take our flat brush, and the first color we're going to use is black. So we're going to go right into our black, and we're going to start at the top, and we're going to just kind of curve the line. We're not going to make it straight across. We're going to curve the line. Now, if your paint becomes tacky, and what I mean by that is, I'll demonstrate what I mean. When I brush, you see that? That's when your brush is, your paint is becoming really tacky. That means the canvas is absorbing a lot of the paint and you have less paint in your brush. To fix that problem without using more paint is to dip your brush into water and then brush that. You see how fluid it makes the paint again? So whenever you have that issue, that's what you're going to do. Not using a lot of water, just enough to loosen up that paint and make it more pliable, okay? So we're going to keep going. Going back into my water, making that black more fluid. Good. Okay. Now, without cleaning my black brush, I'm going to go into my violet. If you don't have this color violet at home, it's like a really deep, deep purple. You can just use purple, that's fine. I'm not cleaning off the black of my brush. I'm gonna blend it right into that black and pull that violet downwards so that it blends nicely. You don't see where one color ends and one color begins. You want to blend, okay? Again, putting your brush in the water if you feel like it's getting a little tacky. Very nice. Okay, really good. Okay, now without cleaning your brush again, you're going to go into your magenta. It's like a lighter shade of violet almost. And you're going to bring this down. Pulling it, blending those colors. I'm overlapping as to blend them because that's what you want to do. And you're going to stop right at your horizon line. That first line we drew in pencil, that's where you're going to stop. And it doesn't matter if your line here is clean and neat because we're going to go over that with black. So don't really worry about that. Just making sure we get the sky in and it's looking really pretty. And those colors are blended really nicely. So sometimes you might see that your brush, like right now, is picking up some of that darker color that's still deeply embedded into the brush. That's absolutely fine. Now this little in here, I'm just going to go into red a little bit and just add some red to brighten up that sky a little bit as it falls to the horizon. Again, not washing my brush off. I'm just cleaning up these lines a little bit. And it doesn't matter if they're kind of messy. Blend that red right into that magenta. Using broad strokes like how I'm doing so you don't see your paint where your paintbrush stopped and began. You want to keep your brush nice and fluid and moving back and forth. Okay, now I'm cleaning my brush. Okay. I'm going to go into my now magenta and I'm going to mix a little bit of white with that. So I'm going to just pick up some white first after, because my brush is clean, just a little bit. And I'm going to just create a line underneath this red line here I made where the horizon is. And just add a little white there. I know you can't see it at home, but yes, it's there. And then I'm going to go right into my magenta, or you can pick up red. That's up to you. But I think, you know what? I'd rather go into the magenta. And I'm going to drag that light line, because now it's mixing with that white that I added. A nice light color. And this will define the line between the water and the skyline. Okay. And we're not really making this line way too thick. We don't want to do that. Because it is nighttime. And those city lights are just kind of like brightening up the water as well. Now, as I keep pulling down, I'm going to just add just magenta, because it's a little darker than the lighter. Blending it. Again, not cleaning my brush, I'm just blending it as best as I can. Nice. And then I'm going to go right into the violet. And I'm going to pull that, blending it right into that lighter pinkish magenta. Now at home, I always say, you know, when we're in class, to not use a lot of paint. Paint goes a long, long way. So if you have a lot of really saturated, wet globs of paint everywhere, it's too much. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take your paintbrush, and you're going to just kind of like clean it up, pulling that excess paint off, and wiping your brush, because you don't want too much paint. You want this to dry quickly, and you don't want it to be, you know, to sit there and wait and wait and wait for it to dry. So the more paint you add, the more time it takes to dry. So you got to be really aware of that, okay? Now that I have my violet in, I'm going to go into blue without cleaning my brush. And I'm going to just pull that paint right into the violet, into the magenta. I want it to blend really nicely. Again, if your brush gets a little tacky, you're going to add some water, make it fluid again. Again, adding more blue. You really can't go wrong. Don't be afraid to pull those colors together. That's the point. You want to do that. You want them to blend nicely. You want to use nice long strokes so that we don't really see where your paintbrush ends and where it begins. Okay. Beautiful. So now we have our water, and it's done, giving this upper portion some time to pretty much dry a little. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our medium flat brush. We're going to clean our brush very well, and we are going to go into black. And we are going to create these buildings. But before we do that, there's one thing I want us to do before that. And this is optional, but I think it looks really, really pretty when you do it. You're going to take your medium brush. So let's backtrack. We're going to take our medium brush, and we're going to go into white. And we can take our pencil, and we're just going to tap it really hard. Be aware of whatever your surroundings are. You don't want to get paint everywhere. And what we're doing is we're kind of creating stars. Now those same stars are reflecting onto the water. It's okay if it gets on the bottom portion. It's fine. Good job. Okay, so I'm cleaning off my brush, and now, sorry about that, I'm going into my black. So we're going to create these buildings, and it's really, really easy. They all connect. Okay, so I'm going to start from my left-hand side and work my way to my right-hand side. So right where that line is, we're going to just reestablish that line in the center. Make it as straight as you possibly can. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So using my flat brush is pretty much shaped like a rectangle or a square. So when I want to create my straight lines with uh, the, the city skyline, it should be fairly easy. You just letting my brush do the work for me. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the corner, and I'm going to create a building. And again, like I said, letting the brush do the work for me. Okay, so that's one building. See how easy that was, if you can see that at home? And then I'm going to create a baseline here, and I'm going to create the next building. I'm going to make this one a little taller. So you're going to just kind of alternate. You want tall, short. You don't want to be too uniform. And this is going to be a nice little tall, thin building. And I'm going to come straight down. I'm letting my brush do the work for me. I'm not forcing it. So off the side of this building, I'm going to connect, and I'm going to just do another building and then come straight down. Just like that. Okay. Moving along. I'm going to make another base. And this one is going to be even taller than that one. since we're moving towards the center. So I'm going to go straight up, just like that. And I'm going to give this a triangular top. Again, using my brush to make those lines. Painting right over those stars if I have to, because they're supposed to be in the background anyway. They won't overlap buildings, the stars. So this is fine. Just like that. Now in the center here, I'm going to make a line really kind of further up. And then I'm going to create another line here. And I'm going to slant this one way and then come straight down. Filling in the rest of the building. Okay. Now I'm going to try and do like almost like a double building. I'm going to create a base here, making this one really close. I'm going to create a line. Nice and thin. Okay. And this upper here, I'm going to create another, almost like a letter H. Well, some of those skyscrapers are so unique and so different. And we're almost done. We're working our way to the right side. So no worries. And we're going to keep working. Okay. Now here, I'm going to create a, get another base, another building, make it a little wider. And so that all of them don't have that same exact square top straight line at the top of it. With this building, I'm going to create a small little dome, rounding my brush like this, and then another little dome, and then a line just like that. And I'm gonna come back up to this one and make a little line too, if you can see that at home. Okay, I'm finishing this off. I'm gonna bring this line up and just make a solid shape here. Okay. Now we have our city line. Now what we're going to do, I actually want to make this a little, close that in a little bit more. I don't know why, I just want to. Okay. We're going to come down to the water part, and we're going to take that same brush with the same black, and we're going to create these little ripples. So I'm just, in no particular way, I'm just going back and forth. So I get to the blue. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just zigzagging my brush a little bit. I don't want to create these perfect lines. I just want it to look kind of haphazard. So I'm just going, that's all I'm doing. Just like that. Awesome. Okay. Now that we have that done, we are going to pick up our yellow with our small round brush. And because the majority of the bottom part should be dry now, we're going to allow the sky to dry. And we're just going to work in the bottom here. I'm picking up yellow. I might add just a little bit of white to my yellow, just to brighten that yellow up. And you can do that at home, just a tiny bit. And I'm going to create some reflections in the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just like I did the black, but I'm going to make thinner lines like this, just like that. I'm not putting a lot of paint on my brush. It's actually very little. And we can always go back and add more. But for right now, I just want to establish these. Okay. Now, depending on how heavy-handed you are, some people are, some people aren't. If your paint is not dry, I can give you a tip, and that is if you have a hair blow dryer at home with mom or dad's permission or your guardian's permission, you may use it to dry your canvas. And all you're gonna do is just aim the air at your canvas until it is completely dry if you want to get through this project in a timely manner. So that's up to you. So at this point, you can pause this tape, this recording, and blow dry your canvas if it's still wet, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so we're back. So again, if your painting is still wet, you can blow it dry, or you have the option of waiting maybe like 15 minutes. It usually may take, depending on how much paint you applied. If you applied it heavy or light, that usually determines how long your your canvas and your paint will dry. So moving on, I have I blew dry my canvas, and we're back now, and we're going to finish up this beautiful painting. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your small round brush, and you're going to go into a little bit into the white, mix a little bit of it with the yellow, like I'm doing here, and just get it really like on the tip. We're going to create the lights in the skyscrapers. And it's really, really simple. It's almost like making dots, pretty much. So you're going to choose a building, and I'm going to start from the left again to the right. And you're going to just make these little dashes like so. Really simple. Don't try to overly control it. You just want them in a line because windows are usually very uniform. And so we can skip too. So I can put one here, skip a space, put one there, just like that. Because not all of the windows will be illuminated at night. Some people may turn their lights off. So you want to give it a really nice, realistic look, not adding too many illuminated windows, okay? So you can skip a space, maybe move further down the canvas with your on your buildings, just like so. And it's coming out really nice. Again, up here, I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into it, as you can see. I maybe want to skip one, add one here, skip one, add one there. And then always add some to your base, okay? Okay, I'm gonna add one here, maybe two there. Really nice. So I'm gonna add maybe a few here and some there. Then go to the opposite side and add them here, down here. Just like that. Really simple. Oh, it looks so good. Okay. So I'm just adding a few just to the base. Wherever that reflection is in the water, you want to add some windows. You can see it align really nicely. And the next thing we're going to do is our fireworks. Very, very simple. I'm going to start, since I've already have yellow on my brush, I'm going to start with a yellow, adding a little bit of white to that yellow to make it brighter. Very easy. I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to make a line going out like this. See these dashes? I'm letting my paintbrush kind of just do the work for me, adding a little more paint if I need to. And so these are supposed to be your fireworks. So now I'm going to take white, just white, and go in the inner part and layer it again with more white. Easy. And I can take white and maybe make a little stream down, because that's where the fireworks started. And it got really big when it exploded. Okay. Cleaning my brush. I'm going to go into blue. I'm going to pick up white first, pick up blue next. And next to the white, the yellow fireworks, I'm going to go just like this, leaving that open space there. Oh, I'm making this a nice big one. Okay, cleaning off my brush a little bit, and I'm going to go back into the white, and I'm going to do the inside to make it looks like, it's almost like, what's the word? Like an ombre effect. You know how fireworks go from several different colors and they end up one color, or they change colors. It gives it that layered, beautiful effect. See that? I'm going to clean off my brush again. Going into the next color, I'm going to pick up white first. I'm going to go into red, mix it a little, making it lighter. Okay, I'm just mixing. That's all I'm doing now. And I'm going to go right next to that blue one, right in here. Oh, beautiful. Again, I'm going to clean off that brush, go back into the white. And create that layered effect. And also, let's give it a little bit of, ooh, so we know where the fireworks came from. It's really nice, really, really nice. Like that. Okay, clean off the brush. And if you can fit one more fireworks, that's awesome. I might just, to balance this out, I'm going to go back into my blue, make a little small one here. Kind of overlapping the red just a little bit. That's fine. Going back into my white. Notice I don't put a whole lot of effort. All right, beautiful. And so after doing that, I just want to reestablish a line here. So I'm going to go into my yellow. And I'm just going to recreate a line underneath where the cityscape is here. I'm not making a straight line going all the way across, but just like recreating a line. Just like that. And we're done. I hope you guys out there really enjoyed this project. It came out so cute. I love it. I love how the water reflects all of the lights in the city skyline. I also want to give a special shout out to Stephanie in 4th grade. She actually requested this painting, and so I wanted to give her what she wanted. So I hope she enjoys this. Hi, Stephanie, wherever you are. Inbox me. I would love to see yours when you're done. And all you boys and girls out there, when you're done as well, please send me your completed painting. I would love to post them in the students gallery, art gallery. That's on my page. Again, enjoy your weekend and have a wonderful. Bye.